Hey yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be showing you guys how to build thrust reversers in the world of Stormworks within a jet engine. So with that said, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Alright guys, to start off, what we're going to do is we're just going to build a basic platform just like this. We're going to move it all the way to the ground, we're going to move it slightly forward, and we're going to start with the basics of our engine. So our engine is going to have a top RPS of around 25, and it will be super efficient. That's why it'll only be down to 25 RPS. So first things first, put a jet compressor facing backwards. The arrow on it must face backwards. Then put a intake on the front of that. Then grab a combustion chamber and make the fuel face up, down, whatever way you need. Make sure the arrow is facing backwards. Grab a jet turbine media. Make sure the arrows are facing backwards. That's a very important part of it, like I've said several times. Then just put an exhaust on that. You can do an afterburner, but it'll be better for a regular. Okay, so in front of this, basically just build this kind of 2x2 box without the corner. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to put a ductant fan underneath that. This one right here. And you need to make sure that the positive arrows are facing backwards. That's very essential. Actually, yes, you gotta do that. You gotta make sure the arrows are facing backwards, but you also gotta make sure that you know where the RPS input or the power input. You need to know where the power input is. So in front of that, you're gonna put a jet turbine medium with a arrow facing backwards on that. Then you'll grab a jet intake large, and this front one is going to be geared to a different speed. This right here, if you guys didn't know, this actually produces thrust if you get it spinning by itself, so you could actually do like a ductant fan system for it. So now we're going to go ahead and get the systems in. So first of all, what we need to do is get the RPS or the torque. And basically, we're just going to build a pipeline to about right here. Let's actually undo that. We're going to build it to about right here. And right about here, we're going to split it into two parts, just like this. We're going to have a pipe angle, just like this. And we're just going to have a basic clutch right here. Same with right here. So yeah, we'll just put a clutch for each one. That is essential. You have to make a clutch right there and there. Otherwise it won't work. So the clutch will go to the ductant fan and this front kind of fan system, the large turbo fan. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and connect this pipeline just to there so that it will have power. There we go. Alright, so now that's done, we have to do the logic for it. The logic is going to be more of a hard part. So let's go ahead and move this down just a little bit, and then we'll merge it. So we're going to make a microcontroller for this. I'm just going to grab a basic microcontroller. What you guys can do is press microcontroller and create content new, all that. Then basically, actually we'll go from here. So we're going to call it engine. Oh, engine with thrust reverser. Yep. And now we need a bunch of logic nodes, so let's just go ahead and spread these basic ones out really quick, just like that. Alright, the first one is going to be a number. It's going to be engine RPS. Okay, the second one will be engine throttle. Okay, the third one is going to be engine starter. And I didn't mention that this has to be a number and a output. And this one right here has to be on off and a output. This one right here will be start engine. This will have a toggle button. Toggle to keep on. So basically, we're just going to have a key button for this. Now, we're going to, I think, the next thing is clutch for reverser, which is the ductant fan, and then this will be clutch for geared fan, which is the fan that's geared, obviously. So I think that's all, but there might be a few more, so if there's a few more, we'll go ahead and come back for it. Okay, so the clutch needs to be a number output, same with the other clutch. And, oh yeah, another one is going to be a number. And it will be, actually, never mind. Okay, so let's go into logic now. Let's go ahead and spread these out really quick. Let's just get these out of the way. And I need to actually add a number, which is going to be throttle. 0, or actually not 0, -1 to 25. That will be the throttle. Okay. It also does need to be an output. It shouldn't be this way. Actually, no, it's right here. Okay. So, we're going to do a lot of things with this throttle. Alright. So, first of all, we need to get the basic engine, RPS and such, set up. So, we need to have the engine control on. So, we need to have a PID. This one right here. And we're going to connect it to a clamp. So we're going to have to go through a lot of logic to get this done. So just bear with me here. So this clamp is going to go into the engine throttle. Okay, this clamp will be 0. Actually 0.001 or 01 to 1, which will clamp it. So basically if you throttle up, throttle down, it's not going to make a really loud noise. Like it's not going to shut off, then shut back on and such. Okay, so we're going to need a few things here for this part. Actually, first of all, let's set up the PID so I don't forget later. We need a constant 1 or constant on signal, and that will be good for the PID. The process variable will be the RPS. So now we need to have a, I believe it's going to be a numerical switch box. Okay. Actually, no, we need a clamp. Right, a clamp. A clamp. We also are going to need something else. So this clamp will be 1.25 to 25. You could also just do 1 to 25. Basically, that'll clamp the engine throttle to be a number that will always be on. Now we're going to need a numerical switch box, our first one. This will go to the on value, and this will go to the set point. Okay, and the starter will go to the switched value. So when you turn on the engine, then it will actually give it a input for the PID to go to. Now, we need another numerical switch box. So this will probably actually go to here, and this will go to the off value. So we need a threshold gate and a function block, a 2-input function, so f of x, all that. Okay, engine throttle will go to here, and also the threshold. So when this is at a high of -0.1 and a low of -1, actually let's put -0.01, so it's more precise. This will toggle this, and it'll activate this right here, so that throttle will go to here. So basically, it will be x times 10. And how this works is when the throttle is -1 or in the thrust reverser mode, so it'll be -0.1 to -1, it will start activating the engine RPS, and it'll bring it all the way to 10 once the throttle is all the way back for the reversers, and therefore giving us a decent RPS for us to reverse ourselves with. So now that should be good for there. I need to do the clutch and the thrust reverser clutch, and also the starter. We'll do the starter in a second. We just need to figure out where the starter is. Here's the starter, here's the starter. Okay, so Let's do the clutches now. So let's do a clamp, which will be through the throttle. So from the throttle -1 to 25, it'll be 0 to -1. Okay, and this will go through a function. Actually, we don't need the clamp. Let's get rid of that really quick. Sorry about that. Okay, so the function is going to go to the thrust reverser. Okay, remember that. This function block is going to go to the thrust reverser, and it's going to come from the throttle. Okay? Alright. So, I'm going to do X, and then parentheses around... Actually, I think... Okay, hold on. Let me try and remember how I did this. I think it was parentheses X minus 1. So, the value starts at -1, and then times it by -1. Yeah, we're gonna have to use a time symbol for this. Okay, so basically, how this is gonna work is for the thrust reverser, when the throttle lever that we're gonna have is within -1. Well, when it's at 0, this is not gonna be active. When you start to release it, and it goes 0 to 1, then basically it's going to minus the X value, which is the throttle. So the throttle's going to be starting at -1. Actually, yeah, it's going to be starting at -1, and that's going to be times by that. So basically, as you go from 0 to -1, it's going to actually be going from 0 to 1. So that's why we're doing it for that. And then the geared fan, we will do... trying to remember. I don't remember. I think it was a direct connection, actually. So let me grab a basic clamp. Yeah, actually, I think we're okay. You know what? So we're gonna grab a numerical switch box. All right, we're going to send it to here, and a constant 1. So a constant number is going to go to the on-off value. It'll be -1, or sorry, +1. The switched signal will be the threshold gate, which is -1. Actually, sorry, it's going to be sent through a NOT, which will it's basically a inverter for this. So basically, it's going to be connected to the threshold gate that's -0.01 to -1. All right. So basically, if it's saying if the thrust reverser is not under 0, then it'll activate the clutch for the generator. Not generator, the geared fan. Okay, so as far as I know, this is almost complete. We just got to do the engine starter, which let's go ahead and grab a threshold gate. Okay, we're also going to need a AND, just like this. And this right here will go to the starter, and this will go to here. So the threshold gate will go to the engine RPS, and it'll be, I think, oh yeah, so if it's within -5 and 0.52, so basically, if the starter is activated and the engine is within -5 to 0.52, the reason why I do -5 is because in the past, engines sometimes want to go below 0, and it's kind of odd for that. So I just do -5 as a safe number. So basically, if the engine's starting or wants to start and the engine is off, therefore being below 0.52 RPS, it will activate the engine starter, and only it'll activate the engine starter when the RPS of the throttle, the RPS of the engine is off. So if the engine is off and the starter is on, then it will activate the starter. But when the engine is on and the starter's on, it'll only activate when the RPS is on. Okay, that kind of didn't make sense. Anyways, so we're going to go ahead and reduce this size, I can't speak today, to 4x2, and I'm going to do a little symbol, just basically a engine. I'm not a really good artist. You know what, I'll just do a bunch of lines across. I was planning for an engine, but I figured out I'm not an artist. Alright, there we go. We'll just go with this. Let's see. Can we do kind of like a arrow maybe? That's kind of being inverted. Potentially. So we'll just do this. One block over actually. And then right here we'll just do a kind of a plus. Okay, this kind of looks like a headset. Okay, we'll just do this. Okay, let's go ahead, go back, and let's paste this in, which this is it. And we're gonna go ahead and place this right here. Let me place it right here. Okay, so the clutch reverser, clutch for the reverser is going to go to the clutch that goes to the ductant fan with the positive going in reverse. So guys, I totally forgot to do this, but something very essential that you have to do is you have to connect the clutch for reverser to the exhaust as well. Then the clutch for a geared fan is going to go to the other clutch, which goes to the geared fan. Engine RPS is going to go to here. The RPS is going to go to here, engine RPS. The throttle, we need to grab a throttle lever. This one right here. We need to face it right here, and the max value will be 25, minimum value of -1, start value of 1, and then we'll have the sensitivity way down. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this right here. The engine starter right here. We're gonna have a key button. This one right here, and we're just going to basically put that there. Okay, so this key is going to go to here, and it's going to start the engine. Okay, so this should all work in theory. So we're going to put my theory to the test. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to grab a sliding track, linear based, and we're going to put it on here. Now, we're going to make this with a max power of 0. So basically it has no power to resist gravity or just any forces at all. And basically we're just going to make a long track for it. Okay, so let's go ahead, spawn it in, and let's turn infinite electrics and fuel on because we didn't hook up the fuel and such. Alright, the throttle is 1. If I turn the key on, it'll try and turn on. Let me turn my sound up so you guys can hear a little bit better. That should be good. And see how it started? See how the starter went off as soon as it turned on? That's how it works. Alright, this ductant fan is not moving because when you give it a positive RPS, it will move it backwards. So if we... let me turn damage off really quick. Okay, so if you throttle up a little bit, it's going to go forward. Theoretically. Yep, there you go. It went forward. Now if you go in reverse, it's going to... theoretically activate this clutch. Yeah, the clutch is on. Okay. I'm just going to add a basic gearbox to this right here. That will help it gain a little bit of an RPS. So let's go ahead, face this right here. Let's add a gearbox. And it'll face towards the power source. And it'll be a 3-to-1. Alright. Let's go ahead and start it and do the thrust reversers now. Alright, there we go. Now that that's on, let's go ahead, let it rev up. Okay, and now basically what we'll do is we'll put it in -1. What is the... okay, I did something wrong in the microcontroller, so let's go back and fix it. Alright, so I think this is supposed to be x times -1. Yeah, you know what? That's the reason why. Okay. So, oh, that was loud. Alright, let's go ahead and start it, and let's let it start really quick. Alright, now that it's started, let's go ahead and do a negative value, and look at that. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I totally forgot to do this. I will edit it back later, but basically what you got to do for the geared fan, you also have to hook it up to the, actually, for the clutch for reverser, you got to hook that directly to the exhaust, because the exhaust puts out a thrust, when it's given a value. Unless it's giving a value of 1, then it'll produce no thrust. So I will edit that in later. And yeah, so let's start it. And as soon as we start it, we're going to jump it right into a reverse, so -1. So let's go ahead and just do -1, and it's going to go backwards. Look at that. That is a thrust reverse. Now if you go forward, it's going to go forward. If you go a thrust reverser, it's going to go backwards. And that's a pretty powerful thrust reverser right there. So I'm going to save this as jet thrust reverser example, and and I'll put this on the workshop actually at this second. I'm gonna put this as a jet engine thrust reverser. You guys can directly use it on your engines. Just don't forget to give credit when credit is due. I will put this as a air vehicle even though it's constantly on land, and upload. So once this is uploaded, I will end the episode here. And yeah, so it's uploaded, then we spawn it back in. Alright guys, I do want to thank you guys all so much for watching, who watched to the end of the tutorial to figure it out. I do hope that you guys do figure it out, and hopefully you guys can figure out for your planes and all that. So yeah, with that said, I hope you guys all have a great day, evening, or night, and I will see you guys in the next one. So yeah, bye for now.